up, everybody? Michael Richards here with Elite Athletic Performance.
So I figured I would humor you guys really quick. Yes, I do have a black eye in this video. It's the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. I was waiting on my daughter to get ready for school. I walked into the bedroom, our bedroom, and I flopped down on the bed like a little child, and my wife had laid her iPhone in the middle of the bed, and I didn't know, and the poofiness of our comforter literally catapulted the iPhone into my eye, and I have a massive black eye when I did this video. So I just wanted to address that elephant in the room. No, my wife is not beating me, although she sometimes probably wants to, but not this time. So I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Going to do a quick video on 5 exercises you can do every day to be a better at volleyball. Almost messed that title up. Going to break from the norm. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, I should say, away from the baseball talk. Baseball is getting on my nerves with all these rules that they're creating in MLB with the new labor deal. They're trying to screw with how the defense can play. So baseball is just on my nerves, so we're going to change gears. I love our volleyball girls. I love everything about them, how hard they work, how much fun they are to be around. So I should have been doing more of these videos to begin with. So appreciate you guys watching. Stick around. It's going to be a good one.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to tell you about a new way to support our channel and to get great products out there. We've got an affiliate link going with Mark Pro now. You guys know that we use these a lot in gym. Big believer in them. The way that they decrease soreness and help with muscle soreness, things like that. These are actually like, you know, what we used to think about with the flush runs and stuff like that. These are actually doing something similar to that. They're a really good product. If you use our affiliate link or our code, actually, whenever at checkout, you can use EAP LLC, and you will get 10% off of your purchase. So I appreciate you guys using that. We'll get back to the video.
All right, so first off, who am I? If you don't know who I am, I'm Michael Richards. I'm the owner of Elite Athletic Performance in Benton. If you care about my background and what we've got going on, you can check out our website. See my background. Like I said, it's a unique background, but it's not awesome, just unique. So as usual, I always start off the videos. Please like and subscribe. Basically finding out recently that Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter will pretty much censor you if you share a YouTube link on their channels, and it's very petty and annoying, but there's nothing that we can do about it. So if you find this video helpful, obviously we love for you to share it on social media. I appreciate it if you do that, but also if you wouldn't mind sharing it through text, like copying the link and sending it to a friend that would enjoy this. That is kind of a workaround for whatever is going on with Facebook and why they don't, well, I know why, because YouTube's owned by Google, and you know, but anyways, that would provide a little bit of a workaround for that. Growing a YouTube channel is incredibly hard. I've said many times that it's like pushing a sled through quicksand. It's really hard. So anything, if you don't find it helpful, you don't have to do anything. But if you do, I would really appreciate you helping us out, supporting us, and liking, subscribing. Any comments that you want to leave, that would be great. So I always do a devotional. I don't ever talk about it. I don't want to sound like a preacher. But if anything if you have any thoughts on that and you want to talk about it, I'd be happy to do that as well. We're just going to jump right into it. The 5X. These are exercises that you can do at home. They don't really require a bunch of equipment. You'll need to go to Academy Sports and get a set of the little mini bands like that, because several of them include those. You'll need a set of those and some light dumbbells, but honestly you could use soup cans for the one exercise that we're going to get into with dumbbells. So monster walks. This is Kenzie Garrett. If you're local, you know who Kenzie is. She's an awesome kid, one of my favorite kids that we've ever had up here. And I love them all, but this is a lateral monster walk that I'm showing right here. What we're doing is building the posterior chain. Most people think the quad, the front of the leg up here, is the protection or the thing that protects the knees, and that's not true. It's actually the butt cheek, the lower back, the butt cheek, and the hamstring. Those are your main protectors. That's called the posterior chain or posterior chain. People call it different things or pronounce it differently, but those are the main protectors of the knees. That is what keeps your knees in line, and it actually is the driving force for your jump, for your for the vertical jump. So what we're doing here is basically, there is a very common thing that you will see with female athletes when they jump and when they land, especially, of their knees caving in. And that is called knee valgus. And it's like taking a door hinge. You know, door hinges, if a door hinge is supposed to go like this, you know, that's kind of how the knee works. Well, the knee is not supposed to bend like that. It's not supposed to go like that. It's kind of caving in, and that's where your ACL, PCL, MCL tears and injuries come from. Well, we are basically, with this exercise, building the ability to control the land and keep the knees from collapsing in towards each other. If you're a volleyball parent and you're at a volleyball tournament this weekend, watch how many females have knee valgus. When they hit the ground, those knees cave in towards each other. That is bad news. There is no crystal ball, no way to predict injuries in athletes, but the closest we have in all of athletic sports, the closest thing that we have to predicting an injury that, like, you can look at and go, that's going to be an injury one of these days, is knee valgus. So we're fighting that with this monster walk. We also do it in a forward fashion. I'm nowhere near as pretty as Kenzie is, or as good at it, or any of that stuff. So right there I'm demonstrating you got to get kind of bend, hinge like this, stay on your tippy toes, very small steps. You're almost waddling, okay? Keep that band tight. If the band goes slack, we don't want that. All right, you can see I'm screwing it up on purpose right here. That's what I see a lot, and now I'm saying, no, calm down, do it like this, okay? Usually what I have them do, and this is something that our volleyball players do every day, I'll have them come back backwards right there just to cover that base as well. So, all right, there's that. The glute bridge, okay? This is going back to that posterior chain thing. This is one of the bread and butters of that posterior chain.
I'm going to tell you all about another quick way to support our page, our channel, and keep this free content coming out. You can go over to our Patreon page and sign up to do a $5 a month membership, or a $10 or $25, and actually I think there's a $50. Never mind. So we're working on ways to thank you for these, but we have people that just want to support, and it is greatly appreciated. That would keep this content coming out and move it out a lot faster, so we could hire some of the production costs to be done. These videos take about 20 hours of dedicated work to get done, so any help you can get that would speed that process up, we would really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys watching. We'll get back to it.
This is a very important one, and I probably could have called this a warm-up video. This would be a really good thing to do every day before practices, before games, and then just do it as part of a training, just a little bit of prehab work on days that you're not practicing and playing. All right, so real quick, I'm doing that on one leg. If the person can't keep their if you can't maintain a straight line right here, see how it's kind of, you can't tell because of my jacket, but it's a straight line from the back of my knee to where my back is hitting the ground right there. If that is a struggle, then you need to do this with both feet on the ground. Just keep that line straight. Hamstrings, butt cheek, lower back, all involved. This is a meat and potatoes type exercise that every single volleyball player needs to do. Even the monster walk, I just really like the monster walk. We use it a lot. It's very effective. That's a very good exercise. This one right here, honestly, I should have led the video off with, because this is a very important movement, and you would not believe how weak people are. If you have a weakness right here, if you're not able to hold yourself up off the ground, you are running a little bit higher injury risk for for knee type stuff. Okay. All right. Mini band statues. Like I said, lots of mini band work. So a statue, mini band, and as you can see later on, I've gotten better at knowing how to make videos that communicate what I want better. I'm giving the wrong ways. Up here where it says no, these two are correct right here. All right. Don't do it without holding on to something. Start over. Yeah. Not bending over. We don't want that. Don't try to do it up here without holding on to something. And we don't want your knee lower than your hip. All right. We want this right here. This is the correct way right here. You want to be a good straight arrow statue. You don't want to be a leaning You don't want to be a slouch statue, okay? All right, next one. The second most common injury in volleyball players is rotator cuffs, which those of you that know me and how we focus on baseball a lot, you know that's right in our wheelhouse. So rotator cuffs, this is a shoulder exercise. Everybody focuses a lot on the knees for volleyball players, but you gotta take care of your shoulders. This is a good one to do every day, and like I said, a good way to warm your shoulders up for practice and games. Just tearing that thing apart and going like this. It's really good work for your shoulders, up your back, stabilizer muscles, things like that. And the very last one, ITYs. And I showed in this, I did the at-home version. We usually do them on an incline bench. But you got light dumbbells in your hands. You could literally use soup cans. These are not hard. You don't want heavy dumbbells. But see, the first ones I did are the I's. You're making I's like YMCA, like I's. Now I'm doing the T's, and then I'm going to do Y's. We usually do 5 reps per letter, which ends up being obviously 15 reps per set, 3 to 5 sets of those. That's one of those things. It's a lightweight exercise. It's not very it's not stressful on the body or anything. You can do a ton of them. All of these exercises are more what I would call prehab. They're types of things that you would see maybe in a physical therapy office for the most part, or a physical therapy clinic, whatever you want to call it. They're very low impact. They're not, you can't squat heavy weight every day or deadlift every day, but the less impact it has on your body, the more you can do it on a daily basis. And so that's what I call prehab. Hopefully, rehab is after the injury, so you're hoping that this is prehab that happens and you never have an injury. So basically what I think of it as doing rehab, but before the injury that hopefully never happens. So rotator cuffs, that's what these right here are designed for. Y'all know that, like I said, we work with a lot of baseball players. That's right there in our wheelhouse. The rotator cuff's main job is to keep this bone right here centered, congruent, or however you want to think about it, centered in that socket right there. When you have weak rotator cuffs, and I always imagine that, like, when these volleyball girls, and God love them, they're just not strong when we get them and they're young, they haven't really been following a proper weight strength training program and they're very weak. Every time they hit a volleyball, and it's very similar with every type of athletic, event or movement or however you want to look at it, throwing a ball or whatever. Basically, as far as like overhand movements, when you hit a volleyball, there's a shock wave traveling down the player's arm, and it's looking for weak links, and it finds it right here. And so I almost imagine their humerus, that's what this bone is right here, it would almost be like brrr, inside of this joint right here, inside of the shoulder socket, because the rotator cuff is doing all it can to keep these things in line, and it's just not strong enough to do it. So provided a little bit of strength with the ITYs, and you should have a lot healthier shoulders to be able to smash those balls into the other team's faces. That's my favorite part of volleyball. So, all right, last thing. What? No jumping. I know there are probably a few of you that watch this video expecting there to be jumps in this video. Jumping is a very crucial and critical part of volleyball. Obviously, I know that, but this is one thing that I am trying to get volleyball players and parents to understand. You can't keep adding jumps onto a kid's schedule when they're already doing them in practice and at games and stuff like that. We already have, I don't really know what the deal is, but like I said, I work with a lot of baseball players. If I were to program a kid to throw as hard as possible every single day, or say, not that it ever will be, but say cricket was very popular in America, and let's say their schedules or their seasons ran congruently, or they ran together at the same time, and you had a guy that was a pitcher and he wanted to be a bowler in cricket, which is the pitcher is the pitcher in cricket, we would flip out because of the arm stress, because of the throwing volume that would be on his arm. Yet every single day I hear about volleyball players that are going through volleyball off season, Some of them even play basketball, right? Which is literally that example that I just used. That's the same type of sport, lots of jumping versus lots of throwing. Some of them are playing basketball. On top of that, they're going through volleyball off season and they're playing club volleyball. And now these clubs have decided that they're going to make them work out too. And so it's, like I've said a couple times, I say this a lot these days, that as I get older, I care less about whose feelings I hurt. There's getting to be more and more of a situation to where people are just starting to see these parents as their own personal ATMs. And if they add some type of workout or practice or something on top of the games they're playing, then they can charge just a little bit more and get a little bit extra out of that person. And, the consequences of whether or not that training program was good for that person is completely irrelevant to them. And that's really bothering me. It's really wearing me out. And so just be mindful of that. If you run across somebody in the private sector that is basically kind of covering their eyes and their eyes and their ears on what that athlete did at school today, and they want to put them through a whole nother workout, I would absolutely tell them, I'm paying you and she's not doing that. Like, period. I would not, there's no way, because that is an overuse injury waiting to happen. So be very careful of that, be very mindful of that. I don't really know what the answer is. I know what the answer is. I know where we created this problem, but it is what it is. And, so I just am trying to help people be aware of that, be careful with it, make the best choices for the future of your kid and watch out for that. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully I didn't step on too many toes, but last thing that I do in all of our videos, again, please like and subscribe. We were trying to hit 300 before the middle of March, but it is March 15th, I think, today, or the 14th or something. We didn't make it. We're at like 285. So I would really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to our channel. That would help us a lot. Every single like and subscribe is so precious. So I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next video.